Yeah, it was weird. I went to record a video and it goes, no. Just immediately stopped going, no. All right, here we are. I am again using natural light. This is outdoors. This is what outdoors looks like. I'm actually at my son's desk downstairs. I sadly have given Yvonne the illness that has fallen me over the last number of days. I talked her into going upstairs and going to sleep. Told her I'll go right up with you. Waited till she was asleep. Came down here to talk to you guys. So let's dive into something. The draft. And I've been asked by people like, well, do a mock draft. And I talked about the top 10. But a mock draft this year is really difficult. And I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. Now, this was put together by Pension Plan Puppets, which is a website that talks a lot about Toronto. So this is more of a what are the Leafs going to get kind of thing. But I respect what they've done here putting this list together, so I will put a link to this article in the comment section of this video. And they look at draft picks 11 through 31, which is good because we all seem to agree on the top two. We can sort of agree on who 3 through 8 are probably going to be. And when you get into 11 and beyond, who knows? Actually, this was put together by Canucks Army. It just says Toronto Maple Leafs NHL draft ranking. So this is Canucks Army. Average of 11. Cody Glass. Mackenzie has him at 14. Future Considerations have him at 16. ISS has him at 6. McKean's has him at 13. Hockey Prospect has him at 7. Craig Button has him at 7. And Canucks Army, Consolita, 12. So anywhere from 6th to 16th. Elias Pettersson is ranked 12th. His numbers across the board 11, 9, 20, 7, 5, 12, 11. Michael Rasmussen comes in at 13th. He's 7, 18, 9, 3, 15, 16, 10. Elias Anderson, 15, 13, 25, 15, 16, 15, 15. Klim Kostin, 10, 14, 16, 22, 23, 30, 14. Ryan Poling, 17, 20, 15, 14, 14, 9, 16. Basically, the draft past a certain number of picks this year is whoever you like, you can probably get. The trick really at the draft table is going to be this. If I'm looking for a top center, and I know Dallas is looking for a top defenseman, and the Finnish defenseman seems like he's likely to go at number 3 if Dallas is picking. But if I'm picking at, say, 6th, I'm Vegas, I might say, hey, we like Velarde at number 3. Why don't we swap? You'll likely get the guy you're looking for. If you do, we'll throw in our 3rd round pick, which is still a pretty high pick. If you don't, we'll throw you our 2nd round pick. Pretty decent pick. And then you can add future considerations. So coming out of the expansion draft, Dallas can come back, tap him on the shoulder, and go, yeah, we let you guys have Velarde at 3. We really like the look of X player that you just grabbed in the expansion draft. Can we have him as the future considerations? And that's a hockey trade. The best thing for me about this time of year and with the expansion draft coming in and an iffy entry draft is we should see more hockey trades. Less trades that are about rentals and rebuilds, and we should see actual hockey trades. I miss them so much. I remember when Montreal sent Chris Chelios to Chicago for Denny Savard. It looked like a smart move because Montreal fans had hated the fact that Denny Savard went to Chicago. They drafted Doug Wickenheiser instead. But they then watched Chelios get better in Chicago, and Denny Savard was a shadow of his former self in Montreal. So that didn't work out too well, but it was a hockey trade. Hockey trades used to be the way it always worked. The deadline, the draft, free agency, all this was minor. Hockey trades ruled the day. And as I said, I really kind of sort of missed that. I even look back to when Naslund was picked up, Marcus Naslund was picked up by the Canucks for Stoyanov. Pittsburgh perceived at the time they had the talent, they needed some grit, and they perceived that Stoyanov had the ability to evolve into a better scorer as well. Because Alex Stoyanov was drafted relatively high. He was a first rounder, and it was believed that he had more of a ceiling than he actually had. The best example I could think of currently, I talk about Tom Wilson in Washington, and Wilson has started to look like he'll realize that potential. When I do a breakthrough video, I have a funny feeling that I'm going to pick him as one of my breakthrough stars for next year. But Stoyanov never showed that. But at the time, it was considered a risky trade, sure, but Naslund was spinning his wheels in Pittsburgh, and to be honest, Naslund spun his wheels the first 2 years in Vancouver. He didn't show tremendous improvement. I remember towards the end of his second year in Vancouver, there was some talk around that maybe the Canucks should move Naslund because he wasn't really developing, and I was one of those fans who said, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to get rid of him because he's never going to become that 30, 40 goal scorer he was supposed to be as when he came out of the draft. And then, lo and behold, the Canucks hold on to him, and he turns into a gem. So, people were wrong, but it would have been easy for the Canucks to move him, and a lot of people wouldn't have complained until later. That's the thing. People complain at the time of trades, and people are going to complain going into this draft as well. A lot of the trades people complain about, like last year with the Canucks, it was Shinkarik for Granlund. A lot of the time, we're wrong. I'm throwing myself in there, absolutely. But 2-3 years down the road, when somebody develops into being a star player, and people go, oh, that was a really crappy trade. If you didn't say so at the time, then you can't claim some superiority over the GM. The one exception is in Nashville getting Philip Forsberg for Martin Erat out of Washington. That was criminal. It was criminal then, it's criminal now. It's never anything less than criminal. So the other upside of this is with all of these prospects being all over the place in terms of who's going to end up being better than who, they're tradable. The odds of any of these guys becoming big superstar players, like the odds that there's a PK Subban in this draft, or an Austin Matthews, or an Eichel, or anything like that, especially after you get out of the top 10, the idea that there's going to be these gems, hard to buy that based on advanced scouting and based on what every GM seems to be saying right now, which is that it's a good draft in that top 5. It's not as good as recent drafts, but after that top 5, it's anybody's guess. It's crapshoot. And there's going to be some good players, but there isn't going to be that big superstar. So, again, the draft I think will be interesting because I do think a lot of these draft picks are going to be up for grabs. And I think especially for teams that made the playoffs this year that may not feel like they need that draft pick from 16th through 31st. They may be willing to part with that to, I don't know, say Vegas in order to protect the guy that they want to keep. Vegas could make out like bandits here. They could come out with 4 or 5 draft picks in the first round. And if you draft en masse in the first round, even a bad first round, you are highly likely to get a good player because it's just like the lottery. The more shots you take at it, the better chance of winning you have. And of course, just like any lottery, sometimes your top prize is $15 million and sometimes it's 2. And 2 is nice and it's fun and it's great to have. Not as great as the $15 million. And this year, it's far more likely to be that $2 million prize. Let me know in the comment section below which of the not so talked about prospects you think are most likely to go and prove everybody wrong. And let me know which ones you think are overrated right now. And you can go right up to Nolan Patrick if you want. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way through. I know I'm not wearing a jersey. I just wanted to sneak out and under the cover of Twilight, come down and make a video talking to you guys and do something a little different. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to y'all again soon.